Hey, everybody. Happy Friday the 13th, October 13th, 2023. Ron Harris here, your MD, online editor. I keep wanting to say MD. And today I want to talk about off-season, what your plans are, your goals. Let's bounce some ideas off each other. Maybe I can help you hit those goals. Before we start, I want to let you know we got some great content. MD Global Muscle that came out yesterday had Charles Griffin and Theo Leguerre, winner interviews. They both won shows. The last two shows qualified for the Mr. Olympia over this past weekend at the Legion Sports. And where was the other show? Italy? The Olympus Pro in Italy, yeah. And also on this channel, Logan Franklin, I have a great interview I did with him. Say great, not when I say that, it's not because I think I'm a great interviewer. I think it just came out very well. Very honest and genuine guy. He speaks what's on his mind. Logan Franklin, who just missed out on qualifying for the class physique Olympia to Terrence Ruffin at the Legion Sports. And this will be the third Olympia in a row that he's had to miss. So his thoughts on that, all kinds of things. Also want to let you know tomorrow, Saturday the 14th, I will be at this place, Gym Hub Boston, broadcasting here on this YouTube channel live from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Eastern Standard. There's a posing clinic being given by Jose Raymond, who I hope you all know who he is, owner of the gym, also a 212 IFBB Pro Nate Tello, and another IFBB 212 Pro Justin Randall. And I think they're going to have a couple local bikini and figure pros to help with the women. It's going to be a posing seminar clinic. It's going to be a nice crowd. I expect a good, really good turnout, beautiful weather. I'll be there bringing my son. So it's going to be a good time. And I will be broadcasting the whole thing live so you can check it out. And for those of you who want to compete, you'll get some tips on posing. Or even if you do compete, I'm sure you're going to pick up because Jose is a master. He's been at this for a very, very long time, decades. Justin's got some experience. So check that out. Now, off-season. So we're talking about off-season. I like the new term improvement season because it implies that you're actually trying to improve. The word off makes it sound like you're off, like you're taking time off, which we don't do as bodybuilders. We're always either trying to build muscle for our next contest, or then we're dieting and cutting for the contest, or even for those of you who don't compete, like I haven't competed in over 10 years now. We'll typically take a portion of the year to focus more on building, improving lagging body parts, building overall size, things like that for a few months. Typically for those of us in the places where it gets cold, like here in Boston, we'll spend the fall and winter months doing that. Then the spring, we start cutting again, just to look really good for summer. That's what I like to do. Summer's like my competition now. I don't really personally have an off season anymore. I'm 54 years old. So maintaining at this point, I'm getting injured all the time. Maintaining is the name of the game for me, and trying not to get hurt anymore. As soon as I'm able to start training my legs again, this leg, I could train the left leg. That will be my main goal, is to get my legs back, because I have not done a leg workout I tore my quad August 30th. So I think my previous leg workout was August 25th or 6th. So I haven't touched legs since near the end of August. So that's what my deal is. So let's go to your questions, guys, and we can put them. Jesus M. Jesus, saludos, Jesus. ¿Cuál país eres de? What country are you from? Okay. Joe Toth, the Walter Cronkite of barbecue. What did I say? Barbecue? Bodybuilding interviewing. Joe Toth out of Ohio, right, Joe? Joe, always lean, super lean all the time, maintains great condition. I don't know if you're as old as me, Joe, or older. I'm 54. How old are you? Not really sure. I know you're up there. I know you're not a spring chicken. I know you. When I say that, it's not an insult. To me, that means you've been around the block. You've got experience, wisdom, all that good stuff. We're the OGs. Let's see. Susem, do you see Larry Wheels moving up quickly in bodybuilding? No, I don't. And I only say that because structurally, he does not have a very pretty structure. He looks great in the gym. Don't get me wrong. And I do believe in today's climate where there are more opportunities to turn pro, he probably will turn pro in bodybuilding. I don't see him doing that well as a bodybuilder, just because it's a lot of genetics with the structure, the shape, and all that. And I don't see that in him. I see him looking fantastic. I know he has millions of fans, super strong, one of the strongest guys pound for pound, probably alive today. But I don't see him doing that well in competitive bodybuilding. Nor does he need to. He's making a great living. He's far more popular than 99% of all pro bodybuilders. So who cares in the end? Raymond Jones, when you retire, you should do YouTube full time. That's, Raymond, I've been thinking about that because I'm 54. How much longer do I want to do what I'm doing now? A few more years, not much longer than that. I can't see myself doing it longer than past the age of 60, at which point, I would just probably do my own thing and make videos when I want to make videos, write when I want to write. Boy, that's still a little ways away. Jesus M, it's Mexico, live in USA, US. I should point out to all the people out there who say, wow, there's too many of these Mexicans in America, in the USA. Well, about 1/3 or 1/4, at least 1/4 of the continental USA used to be Mexico. A lot of different states were actually part of Mexico. California was part of Mexico for many, many years. New Mexico, obviously, Arizona, and I believe Texas as well. So that whole, did I say Arizona? The whole southwestern chunk of the continental United States used to be Mexico. So it's not like, I've heard a lot of Mexicans say, we didn't cross the border crossed us. So yeah. Oh, Joe Toth. So Joe, you're actually a year older than me. God bless you, Joe. It's funny, back in the old days, like I used to think these guys were so much older than me. Like when I was in my early 20s out in Los Angeles working in the bodybuilding industry in my first few years, I always saw these guys like Flex Wheeler, Kevin Levrone, Matarazzo. They were all just DeMeo. They were all just anywhere from 2 to 4 years older than me, 3, 4 years. And to me, they were like way older. Now that I'm older, the older you get, guys, you'll see less time. You don't consider age as much as you used to. Like a 60-year-old person is not older than me now. When I was 40, I'd be like, oh my God, 60 years old. I couldn't imagine. I can imagine being 60 now. I'm not in a rush to get there, but I could see it. It's, and I hope, God willing, I will get there. Mark's Masks Muscle. Mark's, you do some great content on your channel. No spring chicken, but a long way from the stewing pot. I might have to steal that one. That is clever. Yeah. So, I want to get some of your questions and comments about your off-season plan stuff, but I think one thing that you'll probably come to terms with as you get older, even if you're still in that phase where you're trying to build muscle, is you won't get as fat in the off-season as you did when you were younger. I used to get so fat. To me, it was like all about the weight on the scale. I would get this big, round, chubby face. Even when I was natural, I would just get so fat. And then, once I was on gear, it was like I took it to another level of just bulking and so much water and fat. You realize after a while that when you get that fat and bloated looking, you can't even tell what's really improving, what's not improving. Because like I remember, arms were always, and still the one thing I really wanted to build. And I remember one off season, I got up to 245 and I got a pump and I was so psyched because my arms were 19 inches. They weren't really 19 inches. I don't know, a couple inches of that was water and fat because I dieted down for a show. A few months after that, my arms were exactly the same. So it's fun to see these big measurements, but if you're putting an inch on your arms and you're putting 3 inches on your waist, it's not a good trade-off. Raymond Jones, how's the leg? Oh, I can look at the screen while I do this. Now I realize I don't have to look over here because I'm putting it on screen. Get Mike Cox to Olympia coverage. I can go. Mike's going to be there. Mike and his wife. I'm bummed that I wasn't at Tampa because he lives in the Tampa area, so I always see them at Tampa. Mandy's his wife. Always see them at Tampa Pro. We cover the show together. We got to eat a few times. It's a great time. Mike's an awesome dude. True historian of the sport. Successful competitor himself. Great comment. Great eye for physiques. He notices things that I don't, and vice versa. We really make a good coverage team. I definitely want to get him in. Going to be working with Jose Raymond at the Olympia. But yeah, Raymond, my ticket is booked for the Olympia. In physical therapy, which I started a couple weeks ago, we started gradually trying to bend my leg because it had been perfectly straight in a brace since August 30th. It had not bent. So we started trying to bend it a little. And the first time, I think we got to 45 degrees. It's not bad. Now, if we really push it, it hurts. But if we push it, I can get to 70. So I have 2.5 weeks, a little over 2.5 weeks before I need to fly to Orlando. By that point, my goal is a 90 degree bend. Is that 90 degrees? I believe it is. 90. It's like a geometry. So that's enough for me to sit in an airline seat with my leg down. And I think I'll be able to drive by the end of the month. That's the one thing that's really bothering me is not being able to drive because I can't go where I want to go when I want to go. My wife drives me around. My son drives me around. They take me to the gym. But I can't go when I want to go. I love training in the morning. I got spoiled. This is really a lesson. This whole leg injury has been a massive lesson in gratitude and humility. The things I take for granted. I realized that the things that I complain about, the stupidest shit, when really I could get around, I could walk up and down stairs, I could walk my dog, I could drive my car. Took all that for granted. I can't do any of those things right now. So, this is a humbling thing. It's really teaching me whatever I think I have to complain about. I could always say, there's some people that they're never going to walk again. A lot of people out there, they'll never walk, they'll never drive a car. So, I'm on the road to recovery. It's a long process, and I just have to be patient. Let's see. Jesus says, is Leonidas Arcona a bodybuilder or powerlifter? I do not know who that is. Leonidas was the king in the king. Yeah, he was a king, wasn't he? He was a leader of the Spartans in 300. He was a king, right? Yeah. I don't know who that is, Jesus. Should I try to look him up? What's his Insta? Do you know? Some people are kind of both. I mean, they don't really compete in either one, but they sort of train both ways. I want to see if there's someone that's really famous. Okay, so he's talking about a guy that has 291,000 followers on Instagram. He's got a good amount of muscle. He's a big dude. Couldn't tell you what he is. On his bio, it just says ENSCOM athlete, YouTube. He's got a YouTube channel. He just calls himself an athlete, so maybe he's not. Yeah, he's got bodybuilder physique for sure. Looks really good, but I don't know. Sorry to waste so much time on that, guys. Let's go to Goku from Dragon Ball Z. Luffy, Reagan versus Krizo. Who's placing higher at the Olympia? I'm going to go with Krizo. Not to say that Regan can't possibly beat Krizo. I never say anything like that. But, Krizo, he was 12th place last year, and his body was just beat up from prepping for months and months for various shows. He had to get his pro card. He had to win one show to do that. Then he had to go to Prague and win that to get to the Olympia. This year, he's been able to take the whole year just to focus on the Olympia. Started his prep just for the Olympia. I expect to see a very, very improved Michael Krizanek, a.k.a. Krizo, at the Olympia this year. I think Regan's capable of top 10, 8, 9, 10, somewhere in there. And that's damn good for, it's not his first Olympia, but his first Olympia, I believe he took 15th. So I see him moving up from that, but I don't see him beating Krizo. If Hadi and Derek are off, who you see winning, Carlos G? Samson Dowder. Come on now. Oh, I'm sorry. To the Nick Walker fans, I say Nick Walker, of course. I mean, it could go, either man is capable of beating the other. I would never say Samson can't beat Nick or Nick can't beat Samson, because on any given day, someone brings the best ever package we've ever seen from them, and people are just blown away. Like this Arnold Classic, Samson was a bigger, not the most conditioned guy up there, but he had the best total package of mass, shape, structure, conditioning out of anybody on that stage. I thought Nick was a little down, just a little bit down in size. He has put on some good leg mass since then. So it's going to be tough between those two. What? Leonidas. So Mark's max muscle. Leonidas, a Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. I think you're thinking of Leonardo. They were all named after Renaissance painters. So it was what? Raphael. What was Raphael's last? What painter is that? I don't know. Sorry, guys. Michelangelo was obviously a painter and a sculptor. Leonardo. God, I can't believe I'm blanking on this. Leonardo, the very famous. Oh my God! Thank God for my phone. But God, Leonardo. Why am I not thinking of Leonardo? Leonardo, not DiCaprio. Da Vinci. Also, inventor, painter, sculptor, all that good stuff. Share your screen using the new software. Yeah, I don't have any other stuff. See, all right, if you guys will bear with me, I'm going to try to do that, okay? I'm going to try to do that. So don't kill me if I don't get it right. As I tried this the other day, I'm still working out the bugs on this. They're not bugs. It's just me not knowing how to do things. So go to home. If you can't see what I'm doing, I'm going to my page. Where's my page? Oh, there I am. Okay. So let's see if I can do it. That's my stories. I want to go to, You guys asked for it. So, all right, let me see if I can do it. If I can't, don't get mad. All right, so I go to this thing. I do share screen. Oh, okay. Share screen works best. Oh, okay. So let's see. Is it working? Oh, it's working. Now, can I control it? Oh, I can't. I have to go to that one to control it, right? So if I go over here, I can go to different pictures. Here's a video I did yesterday. Why am I laughing? I don't know. You know, I try to make little clips on my Instagram of, just things I do in the gym that maybe not everyone has tried yet. This is just a variation on with the shrug machine where it's sort of like an upright row or an armpit row. There's a little slight forward lean. Gets a little bit lower in the traps, gets those rhomboids, good stuff. You see I'm dropping there. I'm balancing on that one leg. You can see the leg brace here. Can you see that? Yeah. What else I got? Okay, so we know that I can share a screen. Okay. Well, all right. It didn't let me do that the other day when I tried it. So let's get rid of the stream. Remove that. Okay. So we're back. All right. Well, that worked. Thanks, Raymond. Now I know. Okay, here we go. Finally, we're on topic. Anthony Sizemore. Struggling in off-season, knowing I need to grow in all areas, but messing with my head when I start to put on a little bit of fat and my abs get a little washed out. Yeah, that's a mind F, because I'm not sure I could say too many F-bombs on here without getting demonetized. You can't really put on a lot of muscle if you're staying super lean because you don't have the calories. So you have to sort of come to terms with the fact that you are going to lose a little bit of those cuts and definition, but it's toward a greater good. It's for the, you have to think long term. This is what I need to be doing right now to make the improvements to my physique that I need to. And if I worry about staying shredded with the deep abs and the veins and everything, I'm going to look exactly the same the next time I diet down. And you don't want that. You want to improve. You want to be better next year. That's bodybuilding is all about, it's competitive bodybuilding is about beating other people on stage. But at its core, at its root, I believe true bodybuilding is about improving yourself. If you can get better and better, it's a win because you can't control your genetics, your structure, your muscle shape. Those things are predetermined at birth. Size, you can put size on up to a certain point. Not everyone's capable of having those huge that level of size like the big pros do, but you can always get better. So you have to really think to yourself, it's a sacrifice. I'm not going to look as great. Maybe I can't wear the string tank tops and the little short shorts in the gym. It's where you wear the big t-shirts, the hoodies, the pants, cover up, and you don't have to worry. That's one thing. You won't always see, I'm smooth. You won't be worrying about it so much if you can't see it. But yeah, it's not easy. I know exactly where you're coming from, Anthony. Exactly where you're coming from. M12 says, I think this year is less competitive than last year, very much less competitive. Even most of the shows were less competitive. I think definitely should bring back the point system. The point system, I was quick last year to jump on the point system and blame it for there's too many people in the Olympia. I think there was like 440 athletes in the show last year. Some divisions, Classic had 60, Figure had like 60, Bikini and Men's Physique had 60 or 70. And I look at those classes now. If you go to, I realize I can do this again. I'll do it, guys. Now that I know how to do the share screen, let's do it. Let's look at all the people who are qualified. Okay, qualification system. Okay, so I'm going to share the screen, and then we'll be able to take a look at it together. Although Giles and I did this, we did a whole show about who's qualified for the Olympia. Share screen. Okay. Yeah, we did a whole show about it. It's going to be our IMD Power Hour on Monday morning, but yeah, let's take a look. So Mr. Olympia, it turned out to be 20 guys because we took out some people. Brett dropped out. Rami's dropped out. Beirut Tabani, I think there was a preliminary report that he got his visa to get in, and I don't think that's the case. I'm not counting on him being there. Ian Valieres dropped out. He's retired. Presti's in. Hassan's in. I think we had one more dropout. Yeah, Kamal Gardner, he's not going to do it either. Nathan and Dash, I'm not sure he's going to be able to get into the U.S. We're hoping for the best. Let's go back. So that is open. Let's go to 212. First, I got to make sure we're showing this. I'm going to go back to this. Oh, okay. Yeah, we are. We are showing it. Okay. So, guys, bear with me here. Still figuring all this out. I'm slow. I'm old. Okay, so 212. That's not a bad lineup. That's not a ton of people. I can live with that. Looks like about 20 or so. And I think out of those, we've had a couple dropouts. Kamal's not doing it. He's not doing the Olympia. John Jewett is not doing the Olympia because he just took second in the Open at the Legion. He does not want to go down to 212 ever again. Hide, I wonder if Hide's doing it. Not really sure he's going to. Okay, so those two classes look okay, right? Right. Now we get into Classic. Good Lord, look at that. I can't even get it all on one screen. Well, yeah, you can't even fit it all on one screen. It starts off with Walid Batut, Chris Bumstead, and Ramondino, and goes all the way down to these guys. So the reason we have more people in other divisions is because you have to win a show to get to the Olympia, and it costs more money, prize money and sanction money, I believe, as well, to promote a pro Open or 212, especially Open. I believe Open is the most expensive. Classic is cheaper. So is bikini. So is men's physique. So is figure. So is wellness. So you have a lot more shows. A lot of these shows, you'll see a big regional NPC show, and it'll just have like 2 pro divisions, and it won't have Open men. It'll just have maybe classic and bikini, or men's physique and figure, something like that, because those are cheaper. So we have a ton of guys in classic going to the Olympia here. Next division we'll look at men's physique. Good Lord. It's another huge group of guys. A lot of guys. Look at that. I think it's about the same as classic, honestly. So that was men's physique, wheelchair. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. There's never a ton of guys in wheelchair. That's wheelchair. Ms. Olympia. Look at that. That's a small group right there. Yeah. What's that, like less than 15? So that's a very manageable group right there. The Ms. Olympia. Fitness is not going to have a lot either, I can guarantee you. Yeah, fitness never has a ton. That's a hard division. They're the most skilled. They actually have to do this athletic performance as well as showing this awesome physique. So not a ton in the fitness. However, let's go to figure. Oh, my goodness. Actually, that's not as bad as I thought it was going to be. That's not too bad. I want to say that's to be about 25 or so. Okay, that's not too bad. I'm not complaining about them. Here's where I'm probably going to start bitching and moaning is bikini. Oh, Lord, look at that. When I can't fit it all on one screen, and I can't, because it starts with Jibin Park from South Korea and ends with Roxana Marquez from the USA. If I can't even fit it all on one screen on my PC, that's a lot. Look at that. That is a lot of athletes that those judges are going to have to sort out. Physique. I wonder how big that is. Physique's not bad. Look at that. That's not a ton of people. Wellness. Wellness has a good amount. Yeah, and it's still a lot of athletes. I don't think it's as many as what we had last year. But it's still going to be a long, long, long show. So let's take that away. All right, now I missed a lot of your questions while I was gone. Go Kulafi, Hunter versus Krizo versus Nathan. Who's placing higher than who? I mean, Hunter's been 4th place at the Olympia. A lot of people know, I should say, not many people seem to be talking about Hunter, which is odd. I feel like Hunter just gets a lot of hate because he's the son of a legend, kind of like Sergio. And Hunter's done more competitively than Sergio Oliva Jr. has. He's, really worked hard and done a bunch of shows. What do you need, Branch? I'm not blaming you for the fall, Branch. So, I don't know. I would probably go Hunter, Krizo, Nathan as far as who's going to place the highest. Hunter, Krizo, Nathan. But who knows, man? Who knows? Magos, Krizo, I'd see places higher than Nathan and Hunter. I wouldn't doubt it. He's a freak. He's got great shape. He has brought up his back. He's a little more glutes and ham development. How's the leg? It's getting better, Joe. Thank you. I get a 70-degree bend with that when I push it, with just a little. When I just do it without any strain, it's like a 60-degree bend. At 90 degrees, I think I'll be able to drive. That's my goal for the Olympics. I I have to be able to walk, do a lot of walking at the Olympia. It's a lot of walking, no matter where it is. This year it's in Orlando. And I remember the Orange County Convention Center. It's sort of a hub, and these hotels circle it. And there's like these walkways from each hotel leading to the convention center, and they're long. They're like, even I walk pretty fast normally. When I was walking fast, it was like a 10 to 15 minute walk. So I'm going to have to really give myself a little extra time to get there this time. I might have to, God forbid, miss a meal or two. Recent pick of Brandon Curry. You think he makes top 5? I think he does make top 5. We can go to Instagram again. Let's see. Let's search for Brandon Curry. Where do I do that? Where's the search tab? Oh, search. So, I had it. Brandon. Yeah, I want to take a look at his updates. All right, okay, so we got Brandon up. All right, so let's do the share screen thing again. Share screen. Stop screen. Stop that one. Share this new one. Okay, so we're going to Brandon Curry now. Just want to make sure it's up on your screen. Yeah, okay, so this was, when was this posted? 4 hours ago. Looking pretty damn good. You see, he's got this crazy, he's got beautiful shape, Brandon. People seem to really underestimate. Here he is training. This was posted 2 days ago. He's over there in Kuwait. Look how small his waist is. Look at that back. Anyone who writes Brandon off, would be a fool. I'm sorry. You're a fool if you write this guy off. He's a Mr. Olympia champ. Granted, it wasn't the strongest year for the Mr. Olympia, but you know what? A lot of guys have won in years that weren't the strongest. It doesn't matter. In the end analysis, they're still Mr. Olympia. 2 years after that in a row, he takes second place to Rami. Obviously, that's nothing to sneeze at. And then last year, he drops all the way, and I'm being sarcastic, to 4th place. So since he won, he's been second twice and 4th. Could he drop further? Yeah, he could. Could he go higher? Yeah, he could do that too. You never know. Don't be so quick to write people. I've learned the hard way not to be quick to write people off, because many times I've done that, they've proved me wrong. And I like being proven wrong, because I don't like to see people, forced out of the sport because their placings keep going down. And, I want the best for all these guys. They work so hard. Any of you who have trained and competed, especially these guys, it's a whole other level. They're really, all right. So this is the posing video that he put up 6 days ago. I assume this is the back, front back, somewhere in Kuwait, somewhere outside that gym. So this is just natural light, daylight hitting him. Condition looks pretty damn good. So his legs from the side look massive. I think you'll agree. All these people who say Brandon has no legs, that is not no leg. That is a massive freaking leg from the side. Let's wait till he turns to the front. Okay, so I don't know how anyone can look at those legs and say he's got no legs. You're on crack. He's got pretty good legs, guys. Pretty damn good legs. Jen, you trying to reach me? I'm sorry. I'm working on power almost done. I'm all set, Jen, if you can hear me. This is his son. Yeah, his son's already got abs and biceps and good stuff like that. I think the rest of it. Oh, he's that's Xavier. Xavier had Brandon on recently. Giles is going to get Brandon on soon. I think they just had a scheduling conflict. That was another posing video from 3 weeks ago, which was, at that point, he was almost 5 weeks out. So, yeah. It's pretty damn good, guys. It's pretty damn good. All right, let's go back to your questions and stuff. Geez, I hope that was all showing. Thoughts on Smith machine barbell rows for mass, Joe? I like the Smith machine a lot for certain things. I've been using it. I use it for squats when I can squat, just because I like the control, and I'm not really, my balance isn't that great anymore. I like it for chest, for flat press, for incline press, for shoulder presses to the front. I don't personally like it too much for barbell rows, but that's just me. If you like it and you get a good contraction in the lats, it doesn't matter who else likes it or doesn't feel it. If you find an exercise that you can really connect with the muscle on, in this case, if you can really connect with your lats, and let's say more so on a Smith machine than a barbell, because for a lot of us, especially if you have any kind of weakness or past injury in the lower back, barbell rows are a tough exercise. You can't go heavy on them. So because you have to keep it balanced, and the natural inclination is to, when it gets tough, to start rounding your back, or you start standing up higher and higher, both of which will really take away from the effectiveness of the movement. So I don't personally like the feel on it, but that's just me. If you like it, go for it. There are no rules. M12 for the skinny, fat, natural guys. You think they should start by bulking or get shredded first? I wouldn't do either. I would try to stay at a reasonable body fat. If you're skinny fat, typically it means, once you start gaining muscle and eating really clean, you'll get leaner anyway. The more muscle mass you acquire, even a natural guy, this rings true for anybody. Branch, what do you want? Why do you keep making that noise? You want to come over and say hi? Okay, come here, Papas. You want to say hi? I'm talking about off-season. All right, Branch. What a good boy. What a good boy. Yes. You're so affectionate. Such a good pit bull, Labrador. Yeah, I would just, eat as clean as you can. Keep some reasonable cardio in there, like 30 minutes, 4 times a week. You can do it after your workout. It doesn't have to be, fasted in the morning or anything like that. You'll put on muscle mass, and that muscle mass is going to burn more calories at rest. You'll get leaner. I don't suggest bulking if you're already skinny fat. You're just going to get fatter. And I don't suggest cutting because you don't have that much muscle. Cutting is something you do when you have a substantial amount of muscle and a substantial amount of fat, and you want to get rid of the fat and show the muscle. If you don't have much muscle, there's really no point in putting a bunch of fat on. So that's my best advice for that. Sometimes no one shows up and you automatically win. Simple. Yeah, that's a famous Jason Genova quote. Jason used to try to find, for those of you who know who Jason is, he used to try to find the smallest shows possible where he was hoping nobody else would show up in his class and he would win by default. I would feel like a big failure. You still have the title, but you didn't beat anybody. I mean, I know people who got their pro card by beating nobody. They were the only one in their class. I've seen it happen. No one else showed up in their class. I remember one year I went to the USA's, one of the early years. Was it 2017? I don't know. One year I went to the USA, and all the class winners turned pro. And one of the women's bodybuilding divisions, I don't know if it was middleweight, lightweight. I've seen it happen a couple times with women's bodybuilding where just one woman shows up in the class. Boop, she's a pro. Didn't beat anybody. And sometimes you'll never see them again, or you'll see them in one once and never again. And because they know they're not that good. They get their ass kicked. And I've seen some guys in masters especially who either turn pro by being the only one in their class, or maybe there's one other guy in their class who wasn't in any kind of shape. And these people didn't have much of a physique anyway. Nothing that would be, you'd walk right past them in the gym is my point. They don't look like a pro, but they got in good condition. So it was enough to beat this other person and they win. Get cool, Ron, now that you've transitioned to a TRT protocol. Not exactly. I take a little bit more. I'm doing 300 milligrams of test and 200 milligrams of DECA. That is beyond TRT. And if you don't like it, oh well, go kick rocks. I don't care. It's my life. My bloods are good. My heart scans are good. So I'm doing what I want to do. Anyway, so I had to get that out of the way because someone will say, Ron's not on TRT. Have you still been able to gain new lean muscle mass? So here's what you guys have to understand. Maintaining what you achieve from all years of training cycles. If you've been training for 40 years, you're not putting on any more muscle. No, you're not. Especially, let's say you're me. You've been training for 40 years. You've been on gear for 25 of those years or more. How much bigger do you think someone like that's going to get? And usually the limiting factor for someone like that is going to be injuries. If you train long enough, and especially with gear, you get very strong. The muscles get much bigger and more powerful. Your connective tissues, the tendons, the ligaments, they don't get any much stronger. And the cartilage between your joints wears out, and that's when you get arthritis. I have severe arthritis in both my shoulders. I need a double shoulder replacement. So I'm not using an excuse, but I the only way I could possibly put on any more muscle would be to use like suicidal doses of gear and GH and insulin. And even then, I doubt it would be much. I doubt it would be more than a few pounds of new muscle to take like 20 years off my life. I've already probably taken a good 10. So yeah. So the point I'm trying to make is you're all going to get to a point, if you've been training long enough, if you've been training a very long time naturally, starting on gear, you will make another leap in progress, and you'll probably make progress for a couple more years, and then that's it. That's going to be all the muscle you were ever going to have. It's like, even look at some of the biggest guys in the world, like Big Ramy, because he's Big Ramy. How much bigger? Do you think he could get any bigger than he already? He's been trying to get bigger. He's not really any bigger than he was when he turned pro 10 years ago, or did his pro debut 10 years ago. And it's not like he hasn't been trying. It's not like he hasn't been training hard and eating a shit ton of food and taking a substantial amount of PEDs, but everybody hits their limit. You know, it's different for everybody. It's going to be a different limit, but nobody grows forever. Mujahideen Khan just has 2 dots. I don't know what that's supposed to mean. Yes, he is doing Olympia. Thank you, Carlos. Okay. Wish him well. It's hard to lose fat after 40. Yeah, Dr. A. I mean, most people's metabolisms, everybody's metabolism will naturally slow. We're in our physical prime, you know, if you believe in intelligent design, that we're designed to be a certain way by evolution or a higher power, whatever. Every organism, every mammal, whatever, has its prime reproductive years. And then after that, and those will coincide with your peak of physical health. So let's say like 18 to 24 is probably for men and women. That's your physical prime. That's when your body is naturally at its strongest, most resilient to diseases, infection. You're the healthiest. Those are your best childbearing years. Men can obviously continue to make children, get women pregnant much, much beyond that. But after age 35, I think any woman's pregnancy is termed a geriatric pregnancy, which it's a weird term, right? Geriatric sounds like a senior citizen, but you know, our bodies are designed or meant to be at their peak for a certain amount of time. And that's when we have these more muscle mass naturally, less body fat. And then you'll notice without any changes to your activity levels, diet, or anything, you'll get fatter. You'll start getting fatter and fatter as you get older, unless you do something about it. If you start consciously exercising, eating clean, the tendency for most people, and you know, you don't see it as much now because people are more aware of that they have control over these things. When I was a kid, once people were in their 40s and 50s, they would just get these big fat bellies. They would look awful because they weren't trying to look younger. They weren't trying to exercise. Working out wasn't a thing yet. Very few people exercise regularly. Eating clean, most people had no concept of what that even was, much less had any desire to do it. We're all so much more aware now than we were back in the day. And 12, last year, men's physique Olympia, Aaron Banks has just lost to some random guy. I don't think he was random. No, it wasn't random. It was it was Chiron Holden, wasn't it? Who's not random at all. No, Chiron's damn good, but yeah. It's odd that a reigning Olympia champ loses to anyone at a show that's outside the Olympia. So we couldn't see just the website. Damn it, Raymond. Okay, so I messed that up. Well, if you want to see the competitors, it's MrOlympia.com. Yeah, I still need to mess around with that, but thanks, Raymond, for letting me know. Could you guys see the Brandon Curry stuff when I was showing it to you, or just the homepage? Bodybuilding must be so tough, man, especially at pro level. Oh, Gregory, I think it's the toughest sport there is. You know, people have wrestled and stuff say, "Oh, wrestling stuff." Yeah, I mean, I wrestled in high school. The practices are grueling and stuff. It's a tough sport, but bodybuilding is 24/7. You have to get enough sleep. You have to eat. It's the eating. I doubt many athletes eat the way bodybuilders eat, like every 2 hours, regimented, day in, day out. Time you wake up, time you go to bed. Got to get all this protein in, these carbs, these healthy fats. It's very, very demanding. Sean Franklin says, hi. Samson says, people have to learn around these guys do bodybuilding because they enjoy it. It's not always about coming in first place. I, too, hate seeing them written off or seeing negative comments. Yeah. You know, not everybody can win. Obviously, only one person is going to win per division, per show. So does that mean everyone else just wasted their time? You know, especially we're getting to the Olympia. I've said this many times, but if you can get top 10 in the Olympia, first of all, Most competitive bodybuilders don't turn pro. Of those that do turn pro, most of them will never get to the Olympia stage. Of the ones that do, most of them will never get into the top 10. So to get into the top 10 of the Mr. Olympia, very, very prestigious achievement. Nothing to be ashamed of. Obviously everybody wants to win, but there's only been 17 men since 1965 who can say they were Mr. Olympia. We had multiple champions. Ronnie and Lee Haney both have 8 titles. They're the shared record holders. Phil Heath has 7. Arnold has 7. Dorian had 6. Cutler had 4. Beyond that, Zane had 3. Someone else had 3. But it's been a lot of repeat winners, and it's the elite of the elite of the elite. So what's the problem, Branch? Oh, what's the matter? Sorry, dog. You can't even see outside because I pulled the shade down. You're gonna look and bark at some dog anyway. Raymond Jones says Brandon is top 5 for sure. I don't know about nothing's really sure. Nothing's set in stone. These shows, they're tough, and sometimes guys, they miss their mark for whatever reason. They can get sick at the last minute, ate something they shouldn't have eaten, something can go wrong with their sodium or their insulin or God knows what. There's so many variables and so many things that can go wrong or right at the last minute. Do you like WWE, Sean Franklin, and AEW? I can't say I follow them anymore. The last time I watched pro wrestling was, I'd say, the first few months after I moved back to Boston. We were staying for 3 months while we got situated before we bought our house here with some in-laws. And when was it Monday Night Raw we used to watch, or SmackDown Tuesday night? That's when it was Dwayne Johnson, The Rock, Stone Cold, Kane, The Undertaker. It was a really good time, and that was probably to me the peak for WWE. And I lost interest after that once we got this house. So no, I don't watch it, but I do like this series on Netflix right now called Wrestlers, which shows OVW, Ohio Valley Wrestling, which is sort of the training. It's like the feeder organization. It's a smaller outfit with one live TV show a week that sort of has bred a lot of the guys who go into WWE, that they keep showing some of them. Like Batista came out of there. I think Dwayne Johnson came out of there. A bunch of them. Interesting show. Brandon's physique looks dense. Yeah, he's no joke, man. He's Mr. Olympia. He's 2-time Olympia runner-up. He's a 2-time Arnold Classic champ. Anyone that says like Brandon Curry sucks or whatever, you really need to step back and get real, because he does not suck. He's very, very good. Cute dog. Thank you, Gregory. What your dog name? Branch. He looked when I said that, right? Still there, Papas? Yeah, I call him Papas. But Branch is his name, named after Branch Warren, who also slipped and fell on wet pavement and tore his quad. Jason Nova, LOL, yeah. Do you like Terminator RoboCop movies? Yeah, I mean, not so much now. When I was younger. I still will once in a while, if they're on, I'll watch a few minutes. But yeah, I mean, obviously when they came out, I was much younger and I was into I think that's who those movies were geared toward, was very young men, like teenagers and guys in their early 20s. And those are the ages I was when all those movies came out. I was a teenager in my early 20s. So I was all about those action movies with the cool effects and guns. Maybe it's the lights, but you look younger than usual. No, it is the lights. But thanks, Mark. Yeah, I am planning on getting a hair transplant next year. I'm going to go to Turkey because this is really bothering me. This wasn't there before. My hair used to come down to about here. If you see older pictures of me, my hair used to be a lot lower. Jay Cool, just curious, what are your physique goals now, 50 plus? I think you'll ever say screw it, up the doses a little once in a while? No. I did high doses in the past, much higher doses. Yeah, I want to be around. Your perspective changes when you get older. I don't know how old you are. I'm 54. My son just turned 24. My daughter's 29. She'll be 30 in April. Her and her husband are probably going to start a family next year, God willing. I want to be around to see my kids grow up. They're already grown, I understand, but I want to see them live their lives. I want to see if they have kids, I want to see my grandchildren be in their lives. I want to live a long time. Now, I'm not going to live as long as I would have if I'd never used steroids. I've already accepted that, but I'm not going to do anything at this point to take any more time off my lifespan, the years I have left. So upping the doses like I said before, I'm riddled with injuries. My shoulders are always in pain. I need those both replaced. I have a hernia that I'm not getting repaired because it doesn't hurt. Lower back pain. I got tore quad. I got build. Maintaining right now. I'm very happy to maintain. I'm not as big as I used to be, but you know what? I'm not going to live in the past. I'm not one of those people who's going to try to hang on and say, I'm going to look just like that forever. Because most of the guys who try to maintain that huge muscle mass into their 50s, they die. They're dead. Or they have major health problems and they end up having to stop training or something. And I love training. So maintaining, staying on a very moderate dose, which is a little bit higher than legit TRT. As long as I'm able to train and hold about 215 to 218 is my range now. I've lost a few pounds because of my legs. I've lost a few pounds of muscle, but I'm typically walking around at 220 with abs at 5'7.5". That's big enough for me. Is it big enough for, the pro bodybuilding? No. But you know what? I've moved on. I'm over it, so I'm good. James Emery, any plans for getting Jeremy Buendia on for an interview before his Olympia comeback? No, and it's nothing against Jeremy or men's physique. I don't follow that division. The only times you'll typically see me interview people from certain divisions is if there's a sponsor involved that ties into MD or something. I'm being very transparent with you guys right now, and they want us to do it. Otherwise, I don't follow that division. I don't really. It's not exciting to me because they don't do any posing. There's just nothing to it. It's just standing to the front and staying to the back. It's like model poses. I like the divisions where people pose: bodybuilding, open, 212, classic, women's physique. Beyond that, I watch them and I respect everybody that's a pro and that competes at this level, but I'm just not like that interested. Johnny says, is Turkey the spot for hair transplants the cheapest and effective? Yeah, it's cheaper because I guess their economy is not doing that great, Turkey, and the US dollar goes a long way there. And for something like $4,000, I can go over there. And I think that includes the travel. So let's say it's $5,000. Let's just throw another $5,000 in there. My wife and I can go over for a weekend, get it done in a weekend, and come back on Monday. Say I spend $5,000. I've looked into places like Bosley and hair transplant places in the US. It's $25,000 to $40,000 to do the same thing. So I don't necessarily want to go to Turkey. It's not a place that's on my bucket list. It's not a country I've ever, I still want to go to Greece, Italy. I'd like to go back to UK because all I saw was Birmingham. I'd like to see maybe all the European countries, I guess. I would go to France and Netherlands and all that. And I'd still like to go to China and Japan before I die. I went to Australia. That was a good bucket list thing. But it's much, much cheaper there. They do a good job. Greg Doucette, Coach Greg, if you watch his videos, he did a video last year documenting his hair transplant in Turkey, and it went well for him. So, yeah, they just take a big chunk out of the back of your head, where I still have plenty of hair. It's thick in the back right here. And they transplant it here. And it's your own hair, so it grows. I think they can do I have a balding spot here, too. It's very thin. I think they can do that, too. So, I could just grow old gracefully, but I don't like looking in the mirror and seeing less hair. It's just, I know I would look a lot younger if my hair was back down here because my face doesn't look old. I don't have a bunch of craggy, wrinkly. I don't have an old, wrinkly looking face for like a lot of 54-year-old guys I see. They look like, I don't want to be demeaning, but they look their age. Mark says 225, lean, 5'7.5". Give me that. You better give me that half inch. So I used to be over 5'8". Way above average, especially given your age. Nothing to be ashamed of. You're killing it. Oh, I know it's above average because I go to a big gym, a commercial gym called Bayshore Athletic Club. A couple thousand members, a lot of young guys, a lot of people on gear, a lot of people in really good shape at that gym. And I'm still one of the better physiques there. And for, I always say I don't want to look good just for my age. That's great, but it's, to me, that's not much of an accomplishment because anybody who really pays attention to their appearance and works out and eats clean, you're going to look better than most people your age. That's a given. I want to look better than most people in general. I know I don't look 20 years old or even 30 years old anymore. It'd be ridiculous to even attempt that. But yeah, I mean, if I can just maintain that amount of muscle mass into my 60s, maybe I'd have to lose a few more pounds. I don't know. But to me, that's a win. What's this? Monterrey, Mexico. Our stuff says FUE transplant. Must be a hair transplant term. Goes about $4,500 US. Yeah, I don't know if I'd go to Mexico. I mean, everyone seems to be going to Turkey. I'm not putting down Mexico as a place I'd go, but I don't know. I don't know if I'd necessarily trust, because if you watch the show Botched, plastic surgery show about, plastic surgeries gone wrong, a lot of the people that got messed up, they went to Mexico for their surgeries because they were trying to save money. Jed Cool, I'm 49 but don't have physique anywhere near what you've attained. I want to live as long as possible too, so it's 100 a week for me. Keep up the good work. Thanks for taking all the questions. You're welcome. Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm on 300 mgs of test and 200 mgs of DECA. That's my preference. I know some guys who are my age or close to it, they're not on TRT, and they, as far as I know, they still seem to be doing well. They still carry a good amount of muscle mass. They still have their hair. Everybody's different. Yeah. Robbie Robinson still looks nuts at 76. That is an anomaly. That is not a regular person. So I wouldn't compare. Comparing Robbie Robinson to other 76-year-old men is like comparing, this from the Kill Bill movies, a Hattori Hanzo sword to all other swords. You can only compare a Hattori Hanzo sword to another Hattori Hanzo sword. It's that far and above all other swords in the Kill Bill universe. Hope they make a volume 3. Yeah. What we got? Is that all the questions so far? Wow, I've been on here a good hour or so. Let me do one more attempt at the screen share thing, just because I feel like a moron that I got it wrong. I just want to see if I can do it right, and then I'll probably go. Okay, Goob, you too. I want to go to Goob. Okay, so let's see if I can do this. I'm just trying the screen share thing. I'm using you guys for an experiment. If you want to leave, go ahead. All right, so if I do share screen now, share screen. Okay, so I'm going to that, and I'm going to change it and see if that worked. Yeah, it works. Okay. I don't know what I was doing wrong before. Yeah, I'm a big fan of Goob. Goob U2. Goob_U2. John Dorsey, prep coach, powerlifter, and he calls out a lot of people who are just idiots. Yeah, I can't. Oh, you can control it from here. Can I? Oh no, you can't. You can't. I have to go back to. His to that to control it. How do I go back? Oh, okay. Do that. Yeah. Okay. Well. Okay. Well, I proved that I can do the screen share properly, right? That's all I want to do. Okay. Cool. Let's see. Have I tried coming in off? What does that mean? I think he means coming off, like coming off all gear, like even TRT. Well, my body, I know, because I did come off from after the 2006 Arnold Classic. I decided I was going to be a born-again natural. I was going to see if my body would bounce back. I gave myself until September of 2007. So about a year and a half, I went clean. I went off all gear, was not using any gear. No, not even pro hormones, nothing. And I got my blood work done, and I found out it was like 275 or something was my total test. My free test was like 20. It was much lower than what I wanted. So I went and I got on legitimate TRT through a doctor, actually a very famous doctor, and a guy named Abraham Morgentaler, Morgantaler. He is one of the pioneers of TRT in the world. He's a professor at Harvard Medical School. He's literally wrote the book. He's got a book called The TRT Life or something. He's written several bestsellers about TRT. He was my personal physician. So I was under his care for about 2 years. And then he was prescribing me. We tried pellets in my butt. Those actually worked their way out of my glutes. and I put them in a little baggie and showed them to him. I would use the androgel. Androgel kept getting expensive, more expensive. I don't know why. I kept, like, every couple months it would go up another $5 for like a month's supply. Eventually I said I could do my own TRT for about 1/5 the price. And that's, after that, I just stopped seeing him and did that. Cannot drive yet, Johnny. Thank you. I want to be able to drive within 2 weeks is my goal. By the end of this month, I really want to be able to drive. I can get a 70-degree bend in my leg. If I push it, really push it, it hurts. I want to get a 90-degree bend with minimal pain by the end of the month. And then I'm pretty confident with the brace I have now. You know, my doctor hasn't unlocked it yet. I see him next Wednesday, and then we're going to start, unlocking it from straight to hopefully like 60 or something. But I do want to start driving soon. It's driving me crazy not being able to drive. I just, you take your independence for granted, the ability to just pick up and I want to go to the store, I want to go to the gym, I want to go here or there. Can't do it. So stop. What is it, Branch? You go outside or something? All right. So I'm going to take off, guys. Want to say goodbye, Branch? No? You just want to go outside and look at his tail. You want to look out the window and bark at somebody? Yeah, you're very territorial. So, guys, Jet Cool, the reason I'm not, I do believe training one leg can help the other one. The reason I don't is because even if there's a 1 in a million chance that I hurt that leg, I need this leg to be perfectly strong and healthy while this other leg is not. So I don't even want to take it, and I don't want it sore. I need this leg to go up and down stairs. My house has 4 levels. I'm going up and down stairs constantly, getting in and out of cars. I need the strength of that leg. I need that leg to be perfectly functional, and I don't want it to be sore. So it's atrophying a good amount, this right leg, but it's going to come right back. It'll snap. I tore my tricep in 2011, and I couldn't train that for a few months, as you can imagine. But it all came right back. The size and strength comes back within a couple months. You get back to like full strength and size. For me, it took about 6 months for the tricep. I've heard other people say a year. It didn't take me that long. I am using BP 157, the peptide for healing. Using 2 IUs of growth a day as well. So I think I'm doing what I can to heal faster. Anyway, guys, Friday the 13th. So be careful today. Stay away from black cats crossing your path. Don't walk under any ladders. Stay away from Camp Crystal Lake. It's a dangerous place today. Just be careful. Friday the 13th. It's October. Have an awesome weekend, and I will see you guys next week.